sort of all the time because I'd like to achieve that state. However, I'm curious if it's a crutch, permission slip, right? Because I assume that you use technology like your ship, right? And that's not a permission slip. So can you please help me determine whether or not I'm using it as a crutch? Am I doing damage by maintaining a specific level when perhaps I would be rising above it if I didn't have this one specific frequency? It's 45, by the way. So anyway, any advice you could give me on that would help. Thank you.
Since you are concerned that you might be using it as a crutch, then I would pay attention to your behavior, because the idea is that you're using that to train yourself to do it without the app. So the idea is that you also will be fluctuating in and out of that vibration so that you can come into a vibration where you can apply what you're learning by being in the channeling state, but you may have to be in a different vibration in order to apply it. Until such time as you allow yourself to operate on a frequency where it is automatic that you will remain in that high state. So you can use the app as a training mechanism to allow you to become more comfortable and familiar with remaining in that state on your own without the app. If you constantly feel that you cannot do that without the app, then yes, it can become a crutch. And it won't allow you to necessarily go into any other state that you need to go into to apply what you've learned in that state into your physical reality, because you cannot always maintain that state when applying lessons in your physical reality necessarily. Eventually, you will have different lessons that will be representative of staying in that state, but for the lessons that you may need to learn now, you may have to leave that state in order to apply them in your physical reality and go through a process that will give you the information and experience that you need that will ultimately, paradoxically, bring you back to the gamma state. But don't insist on staying there until it is something that you can do naturally and come from that state all the time in a natural way without needing any kind of technological assistance. Our ships, yes, are not exactly permission slips. They are, to coin a phrase, permission ships. They are representative of manifestation of our own higher mind, to which we are inexorably linked and therefore telepathically in touch with all the time. But that's our reality. It's where we've evolved to. Humanity is not there yet, but you are practicing the things that can bring you there at some point. So again, in your recognition that it could become a crutch, you are being aware of the possibility that you may not necessarily always use it in a positive way. So allow yourself to go with the flow that synchronicity will bring about to show you when it is appropriate to use it, and when you can allow yourself to receive the training that the app gives you to learn how to become that state on its own in a natural way, which again, in a sense, is why we delivered the formula to you. If you want to look at the formula as a kind of app, you can. But it's an app that allows you to function in a more natural way and a more organic way, in a more synchronistic and fluid way than the idea of the apps that you might be creating with your technology. Not that you can't use them, not that they're invalid, but the formula, in a sense, is the ultimate organic app for what you seek.
Hi, Bashar. It's really exciting to communicate with you in this way.
Good day, good day. It is exciting for us as well.
So my first question is about astral activities and what people are doing together in preparation for contact on the higher levels. I had a really, really lucid dream where I was going into some sort of courtyard, and I was with lots of people from all walks of life, such as doctors, some politicians, some religious people, farmers even, literally every walk of life. And I remember sort of standing next to somebody and asking and saying to them, wow, with these sorts of people here, we're really going to make some progress moving forward towards contact. I was just wondering if you could share your reflection on that experience and kind of where we are at the moment.
All right. Understand, of course, as we have said, in spirit, before you incarnate, you plan out, generally speaking, and sometimes very specifically, your physical life path. But your physical life path is intertwined with all other life paths. So in astral form, many times you will reconnect with all of the others who you have agreed to intertwine with in their life paths with yours, and you will assess what is going on. You will allow yourselves to congregate in a way so that you can allow yourselves to adjust your energies and frequencies to make sure that the life path blueprints you have all agreed shall unfold in physical reality, are still moving forward in that way. Agree to make whatever adjustments energetically or physiologically are necessary in your blueprint for the things to unfold as you have all concurred and agreed that they shall. So many times in astral form, you will have these so-called conclaves to make sure you are all still moving forward together, that everything is coherent and cohesive, and it will unfold in physical reality and manifest in physical reality as you all intended. That is what is going on in that case.
Thank you so much for that clarification.
Yes.
My next question is about step 2 of the social experiment. One of the aspects talked about is meditation. So I've been sort of really enjoying getting into sort of doing about an hour or 45 minutes a day of meditation, sometimes more. And what I've started to discover is an energy that comes down through either my crown or the pituitary gland, and it's almost like a quasi-physical energy, it feels like, and it kind of filters down into my head and makes me feel very deeply relaxed, and also seems to emphasize my psychic abilities and things I can pick up and visions and that kind of thing.
Yes.
When with this sort of experience, sometimes I can get, it almost feels like a hole is opening up in the center of my head, and my consciousness is kind of getting pulled sometimes towards other consciousness. Could you just help me understand what's happening?
All right. Again, remember, your physical self exists at the center of your soul. It's like you are an energy sphere, that is your soul, and you have certain vibrational patterns that condense in the center of the soul to create this little crystalline solidified version of those energy patterns that you represent as the physical personality. So when you do things that allow you to be back in touch with the vibration of your greater self, your higher mind, your soul, spirit, same thing, you feel it as an energy coming down into you because that's how you relate to the idea of physical reality, as above, so below. But what's really happening is you are expanding and softening the idea of that concentration of yourself as a physical personality, and starting to soften and expand back toward the idea of the soul. And so it does feel like the opening of a hole, because you are expanding, you're opening up, you're allowing more of your soul to express itself through the physical personality, through the physical form. That's what you're experiencing, is the expansion of your bandwidth, the expansion of your energy, expressing more of who you are as a soul, so that you can use and apply it in your physical reality in more effective and synchronistic ways.
So when we move forward and our vibration increases, and let's say hypothetically we're at a time in the future where we're having the beginnings of contact, will that sort of state of being and those sorts of feelings be much more sort of stable and in place during each of our days, kind of thing? Something we'd be used to?
Yes, you'll get used to it.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for clarifying everything today.
It is our passion and our pleasure. We thank you for the co-creation. Aveo. Good day.
Too.
Hello, Bashar. I've got a quick question. I do have a real reality in my physical life, and I do have a parallel reality in my mind, which also exists from time to time with another person, let's say. So my question is, how can I change my realities, my delusional reality? How can I bring it, and can I bring it into my real reality to substitute one into another one? Is that possible? Thank you.
You may be picking up on the idea of something on your life path that will manifest at some point in the future. But again, the idea is you will not manifest anything from a parallel reality that isn't relevant for the life path that you chose. It might be symbolic of your ability to be more of yourself, as opposed to actually attracting a manifestation of a parallel reality. It might be simply something you're using to inspire you to do so. But again, if it is part of your life path that you planned out as a soul, then ultimately you may be using the idea of tapping into a parallel reality to strengthen and reinforce your capability to manifest what you have already planned out as a blueprint for your life path here, to become your version of what that person in that parallel reality represents to you energetically.